Tuesday, we get an even more direct sense of opposition to Jesus. You can see why on Monday we would imagine things are going to go south with at least a few people. The people who are invested in the current practices, the people who feel accused. Tuesday, we're going to get a direct challenge to him through the questions that Jewish leaders offer. So let's turn to the next section. And that begins in verse 27 of chapter 11. Here is a sequence of exchanges between Jesus and the people who teach in Jerusalem. Notice, again, they came to Jerusalem, 27, as he was walking in the temple. Again, we should picture the Gentiles' court or the women's court. That is, as far as women could go. The chief priests, the scribes, and the elders came to him and said, right? So, picture it. Jesus and his guides walk in. Just kind of walking in. Jesus is probably going to start teaching. And what happens? 3 groups of Jewish leaders pop out of nowhere and stop him and start asking him questions. It harkens back to Galilee, where, remember, Jesus was in a field with his disciples in the middle of nowhere, just walking around in a field, and they're eating grain on the Sabbath. And out from behind the stalks pop the Pharisees saying, "Aha, we caught you," right? There is a certain sort of conspiracy of opposition that's suggested here. They're ready for him. And it's not just one group, it's 3 groups have kind of probably been spending all night planning how we're going to stop this guy. Right? Now, why wouldn't they just pick him up and arrest him and take him to the chief priest now? We've had 2 hints already that Jesus is still quite popular. Right? That he still has mass crowds following. In fact, we're going to see here that they would love to take him in, but they know that the people love him. That they would love to take him in, but he is aligning himself with John the Baptist, and the people love John the Baptist, right? We're going to see how much of a part the crowd and popularity play in securing Jesus a full day of teaching here before the hammer falls, right? So with that as context, they would get him and put him away right now if they could. He is inconvenient to them. He's dropping their popularity. Their stock has been going down because Jesus has been going up. They would love to haul him off right now. They're unable to because he's so popular. It's his hedge against this sort of violent takeaway, right? Now, with that in mind, let's listen to the first exchange. Again, they came to Jerusalem. As he was walking in the temple, the chief priests, the scribes, and the elders came to Jesus and said, by what authority are you doing these things? Who gave you this authority to tear up the temple, to, ride into the city with all these followers saying the kingdom is coming? Jesus said to them, I will ask you one question. Answer me. I'll tell you by what authority I do these things. So here's my question. Did the baptism of John come from heaven? Or was it, did the baptism of John come from heaven, or was it of human origin? Answer me. And they argued with one another. They mumbled, and Godspell has them all kind of hunch away and try to figure it out. And they come back, having kind of consulted. They say, if we say from heaven, he will say, well, why then did you not believe John? But shall we say of human origin? They were afraid of the crowd, for all regarded John as truly a prophet. You see how Jesus has them on a fork? If they say, well, John was a nobody, the crowd is going to jump on him. And if they say, well, we should have, then they don't look good because they didn't embrace John. He's got them in a fix. Right? And when they come back, they simply say what? We do not know. Right? That's a great answer to hear from your religious authorities. Actually, it is a pretty good answer, but not in this case. They're supposed to be the ones who can come back and pronounce. Politically, it won't work for them. Notice popularity again. politically it will not work for them to give the answer that's candid. So they say, we don't know. We're better to look stupid than to choose either of these things, right? So Jesus does that at the beginning to them. Then he hauls off in a story. Not going to tell the whole story for time reasons. He hauls off into a parable, a story in which they're the butt of the joke, in which they're the villains. Right? The parable of the vineyard. And at the end of that story, at the beginning of chapter 12, when they realized, verse 12, that he had told this parable against them, these Jewish leaders wanted to arrest him, but they feared the crowd. So they left him and went away. So they feared the crowd about John, and now they fear the crowd about Jesus. Popularity matters for this whole story. It's why Jesus gets away with this audacity, this sort of bold speech, this bold action, is he has the people on his side.